I've got that feeling, that funky feeling. Queen on the go is in the house and we ready to roll. Hey, 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 hey. I've got that feeling, that funky feeling. Queen on the go is in the house and we ready to roll. Let's go. What's up, queens and kings? My name is Krishonda Benson, aka Queen Cree, and I am the chief executive queen of Queen on the Go, a women's empowerment lifestyle brand. I equip women with tools and resources to live their best life in travel, business, and lifestyle changes. And tonight, I'm doing a Q&A about being or living a plant-based or vegan lifestyle. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. This, I believe, is the fourth video. I share a new video or I go live every single Thursday. There is not a specific time frame yet, but the point is I give you something new every single week. So without further ado, it's nice to have you here. Go ahead, hit like, subscribe, and share this. I am super excited. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, then you know that I put a post out there indicating that I have been plant-based, vegan for almost two and a half, not two and a half, almost 2 years. So it's coming up on the anniversary of my 2 year anniversary of living this lifestyle, and I'm super excited about it. I get tons and tons and tons of questions from people asking me, like, oh, do you miss meat? Or is it hard? Is it expensive? All sorts of things. So I put that out there on my Instagram page, on my stories today. And tonight I'm going to answer some of those questions so that if you are someone who's curious about making that lifestyle change or exploring a different or alternative diet, or you're just curious about how it is living a plant-based vegan life, then you're in the right place. So let's get into it. So again, I have been plant-based or vegan for almost 2 years. I started as a vegetarian. I did that the day before Thanksgiving in 2017. The day before Thanksgiving, I decided that if I could make it through Thanksgiving without meat, then I would be good. So at the time, I was only eating chicken and turkey as meat. And I had not eaten beef or pork for over 3 years. And I'm allergic to fish, so I wasn't even fooling with seafood at all. So the day before Thanksgiving 2017, I decided to go vegetarian. I made it through Thanksgiving. I was like, you know what? This is cool. I can do this. I can go without having meat. So then fast forward to Christmas Eve 2017, I made a decision to go full plant-based vegan. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term plant-based or vegan, basically what it means is that I do not consume anything made with animal products or animal byproducts. So I don't eat meat, I don't eat fish, I do not consume dairy products, so no meat, no eggs, no cheese. Anything that is produced by any type of animal is not something that I consume. Now, the reason I call what I do plant-based vegan is because if you've ever come across any kind of literature or anything that you see online or through the news, you always see that it's confusing. And the reason I like to say plant-based vegan is because, me, the lifestyle that I live now, I did not do it for the animals. I did not do it for the environment. I did it actually for my health. There are, multitude of reasons that we choose to make a decision or live a lifestyle a certain way for whatever reason that is. And my choice for going plant-based vegan was solely based on the health benefits of it. So give you a little background story about me. I was a healthy person, rather healthy person, no major health issues or what have you. But I was someone who was constantly sick. I would have a cold. The cold would turn into bronchitis. Bronchitis would turn into laryngitis, pharyngitis, all the itises. I had really bad allergies, really bad eczema. I was just dealing with a lot of stuff. And, if you're someone who's ever dealt with allergies or just constantly sick. Like I was always on antibiotics and all sorts of decongestants, like all the time. Literally, I would be sick like every 3 months. I would be okay for a month, and then it was right back into that cycle. And so for me, I had started looking into alternative ways because I was like, there's no way I should be sick all the time. So I started doing research. But basically, that was the kind of like the catalyst. But the biggest thing that made me go that way is my daughter. We she's 6, but at the time, every time she would run, she'd kind of have like this little wheeze, and she had this cough that wouldn't go away. And one of the parents, who was an EMT, said, you know what, have you ever had her checked for asthma? And I'm like, asthma? Now, I dealt with asthma as a child. It's something that I grew out of. And so I was hoping that that wasn't the case. So I started doing a lot of research. If you haven't figured out by now, I am a researcher. It's just who I am, the Google Queen. So I did a lot of research, and I found that there was a correlation between dairy products and, symptoms of asthma. So I started diving into that. And then ultimately I said, you know what, let's try it. So I eliminated dairy products out of her diet, and it went away. So once that happened, then I started doing more research, and I was like, you know what? I think if we can get this, I think we'll be better off. And so, long story short, I made that decision for us to go vegetarian first, and then we went full blown plant-based vegan, for health reasons, in December of 2017. And so we've been doing it. It's been great. Now, I will say the first year was very hard for me. I am someone, I love sweets. I love cakes and pies and all sorts of stuff. So I will say that in this 2 years, I have not consumed meat products, not knowingly anyways. But I have, that first year, I was still eating like store-bought cakes and things like that. And I knew that those items had, little eggs, little milk or something in there. And I would pay for it. I would feel different a few days later, but that's another story for a whole nother day. But nonetheless, I'm glad you guys are still rocking with me. So regardless of the reason that you may or may not be interested in a plant-based or vegan diet, again, everyone has a reason that they choose to live the lifestyle that they live. My particular reasoning for being plant-based vegan is solely to, feel better. And that's one of the questions that I got. So I'm going to hop on real quick, get on my Instagram and go through the questions that people were asking so that we make sure that they're all covered. All right. So we have the question, why did you become vegan? Again, that's what I just answered. I did it specifically for the health benefits. Granted, I am glad that I'm helping the animals. I'm not an animal person, but that's just not me. I do am, glad that it's helping the environment. It has made me a lot more conscious of the products that I put into my body. So that's a benefit as well. The question was, do you miss meat? Listen, I am 31 years old. I've only been a plant-based vegan for almost, 2 years. So you got to think, for the bulk of my life, I ate meat. So it's one of those things that I can't say that I crave meat anymore, but there were times that I did miss meat. But what I've come to realize is we don't actually like meat. And what I mean by that is we like the way that it tastes. Think about meat, right? Let's take for instance chicken. If you have chicken and you just fry chicken without putting any kind of seasonings on it, it's going to be put bland, right? So one thing that I've noticed is that we miss the flavors. We miss the crunch. We miss, something. Ooh, yeah, sorry. Something just, oof, I don't know. Anyways, we miss the spices, like we miss the way that things taste. And since I've been plant-based, there are meat alternatives for everything. Literally everything that I ate before being plant-based vegan, I can eat now. There is something for everything. When I tell you, and I'll do a whole nother series on this another time, but pretty much I am not missing meat. Again, and when I first started and I was super new to it, there were times where I was like, oh my God, I really want this fried chicken. I really want them lemon pepper wings. And even now, like meat does not disgust me. Raw meat disgusts me, but like cooked meat, it doesn't disgust me. I still think it smells good. I say, oh, that looks good. Oh, that smells good. But I have no desire to eat meat. Let's go. Next question is, what about protein? What about protein? I feel like protein is one of those things where it's been beefed up, haha, beefed up so much in the the media that we think that protein is a huge factor in our daily life. Now, granted, someone who eats meat, obviously you're going to get a ton of protein. But people who don't eat meat, even vegetarians, you get protein from vegetables. You get protein from a variety of sources. It's not just meat. So for those of you who are, questioning whether or not you can do it for protein reasons, I promise you, you will get enough protein. I'm not protein deficient and I don't eat meat. Like spinach is, one of those foods that has a ton of protein in it. There's charts out there that can tell you like what you can eat to get your protein if that's something that is of concern to you. But as far as I'm concerned, protein is not an issue. What I find is that when it comes to like nutrition of my diet, a lot of people say, what about your vitamins? Like 9 times out of 10, we are not vitamin deficient. We are mineral deficient. A lot of deficiencies that we have are mineral based, and that's because the foods that we eat do not contain all of the minerals necessary to fuel our bodies. We all, again, vitamins is another one of those words that's like pushed out there in the media, in my opinion. And it's just something that is not necessary. I'm not vitamin deficient. I'm probably mineral deficient, but things like sea moss and like, what's it called? Burdock root, things like that, more natural substances are designed to give you those, minerals that you need for your body. So again, I don't miss meat. I'm not protein deficient. It's not a problem. The next question was, do you feel different? Yes, I do feel different. Again, I'm someone who was constantly sick like every 3 months. And, one time I was days away from being in the hospital with walking pneumonia because I was just constantly dealing with a lot of inflammation in my body, which was generating tons of mucus and congestion. And when I tell people that like now I don't get sick, and it's not to be like, oh my gosh, knock on wood. It's because I really don't. When you compare, the way that I was 2 years ago to now, it's completely different. My eczema has cleared up. My skin has cleared up. I feel so much better because I'm not on prescription medication for bronchitis, laryngitis, pharyngitis, and all that other stuff I was getting. And it's side effects to that stuff. So I wasn't just dealing with the illness and stuff. I was dealing with the side effects of antibiotics and then getting on, all sorts of stuff. And it was just like a never ending cycle. So I feel so much better now. I think also with it, something that I feel people don't talk about is that I feel that what's the word? I feel elevated, if that makes like I feel more clear, I have more clarity than before. And I don't know if that's because the way that I eat is more so, providing me nutrients that I wasn't necessarily getting. Or if it's just my heightened sense of awareness now. But yeah, I feel much better. Let's see. The next question was, what is the biggest change that you've noticed? For me, the biggest change that I've noticed again is just my overall health, the way that my health has improved. I can say that before I went plant-based vegan, I was a size 16 and I'm now a size 12. Usually you'll see people that go plant-based vegan and they drop a significant amount of weight. There are people that go plant-based vegan and they don't drop weight, they actually gain weight. So for me, I did lose weight. I have not lost a continuous amount of weight, just because that is, for one, it wasn't necessarily my goal. But two, it's something that, even though I'm plant-based vegan, it's still about what you eat. Just because I refrain from eating animal products and dairy and things like that, it does not mean that the other stuff that you eat is better for you. So the reason I say I'm plant-based vegan is because plant-based is more so a lot less processed food. So that's where you see more so your grains and your beans and your vegetables and your fruits. So more whole foods, but you still have a little bit of processed stuff here and there. And then you have the vegan side, which the vegan side is not necessarily healthy, which is why you see some people that are vegan that are like really, really big, because vegan French fries are vegan, right? Impossible burgers are vegan. Cooked Oreos are vegan. Ain't no nutritional okay, don't quote me on that, but I don't think there's any nutritional value in Oreos, right? So it's one of those things where you have to, you have to find a balance. And so for me, if I chose to go full plant-based or like do a raw food diet or something like that, then I definitely would drop probably another 30 pounds. But for me, for where I'm at and my goals right now, that's just not one of my priorities, but it's definitely a possibility, because that's also a question. I didn't get that here, but that's a question I get all the time. Do you lose a lot of weight? Can I lose weight doing it? Yes and no. Yes, you can lose weight. You probably will initially, especially if you're coming from a super heavy meat and cheese diet, kind of like the standard American diet, and switching over to just, more grains, fruits, vegetables, etc. But again, it's completely up to you. When I first did this, I wasn't eating a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables. I was literally going to fast food restaurants, eating French fries, because I didn't know what I needed to do. I had done the research behind it, but I was not prepared for it. And that's a whole nother video. So if y'all want to know about that, let me know. But nonetheless, let me see. What else do we have that I was asked? Oh, what do you miss the most? What do I miss the most? I miss cheese. And when I say miss, I don't mean like I want to eat it. I mean like that was the last thing that I actually gave up. So when I tell you that I gave up meat first, literally all I was giving up is chicken and turkey. I wasn't consuming any other type of meat per se. I gave up eggs and cheese. And cheese was really hard for me because cheese is um it's on everything. We put it on vegetables, we mac and cheese, cheeseburgers and cheese sticks. And so cheese was a huge part of my diet, but cheese is also super inflammatory. And so cheese is likely the main reason that I was constantly sick. Not saying that anybody else will get sick for eating cheese. That is not my forte. My forte is not to tell anybody what's gonna happen to them or eat whatever. That's not who I am. But the same time, you want cheese. So cheese was hard because cheese is addictive. Cheese has it's made from, or it contains casein, and casein has been shown in some studies to be more addicting or more addictive than cocaine. So, people make jokes and stuff about crackheads and, people fiending for drugs and stuff like that. But we have no idea that cheese is so I always hear people say, oh my God, I can never give up cheese, or I can never give up bacon. It's because those things have addictive properties. Your body has been trained to want those and crave those. Like, even though I'm almost 2 years in, there's no way you can put mac and cheese in front of me and me not say, oh my God, that looks amazing. And, have like, oh my God, I kind of want to taste some. Like, my mom's mac and cheese is bomb. But again, there are alternatives for everything. The thing that you think you cannot give up, I promise you, there's an alternative for it. So that kind of leads me into the last question that I got, which was, what's your go-to vegan mac and cheese recipe? Yeah. Okay, so I told you cheese was the one thing that I missed the most. And again, mac and cheese is something that I grew up eating from birth. And so it felt weird not to eat mac and cheese. And I have tried mac and cheeses from some of the vendors, the local vendors, and they just not hitting. And I don't want, if it's nasty, I don't want it. It's what it boils down to. I like to eat, and that hasn't changed. And the fact that I like to eat good food hasn't changed. So I'm not going to force myself to eat nasty stuff. Um, Now, at the same time, I have made some mac and cheeses myself. Some were better than others, but I can't say that I've 100% mastered the mac and cheese recipe that I like to use. I like to blend recipes. So I'll find a recipe that I like. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I'll tweak it. Sometimes I'll take two recipes, combine them together, and then find my perfect recipe. So as of right now, Queen Cree has not found her go-to mac and cheese recipe. I am planning to try a new one soon. There is one on YouTube, the Vegan Mechanic. His mac and cheese looks amazing. I tried his mac, or I made a variation of it, and it was really, really good. There's also one that I found on Loving It Vegan that's really, really good. Hers is more of it's not a, you can bake it, but it's more so cheese sauce based. So what I'm planning to do is likely merge the two, throw my own spin on it, and try it out that way. So I'll let you guys know when I drop that and share that with you guys. So that's still in the works. That's the fun thing about being plant-based vegan is, it's not something that, there's very few things that you cannot recreate. It's just a matter of trying them and testing them. And there are vegan cheeses. Um, it's taken me a while to kind of sift through and try different ones that I like. Most of the things that I find are nut based. I am allergic to tree nuts, so I cannot have almonds, walnuts, cashews, and a lot of things are made with almond milk, cashew milk, and things of that nature. So it makes it a little bit trickier, but it's not impossible. Again, anything that I ate before I went plant-based vegan, I can eat now. It's just a matter of, finding a recipe or finding something that I want to make and substituting it. Again, most of the things like people say, oh, that's vegan food. Well, we eat vegetables and fruit. You eat vegetables and fruit, grains, mashed potatoes, rice. They make vegan butter. You can make your own vegan butter. So I don't see that there's any barriers. And a lot of people ask, is it expensive? Is it expensive to eat the way you eat? Yes and no. Again, the more of a plant-based diet that you eat and less processed, the more affordable it will be. Think about it. You can get beans, you can get rice and grains and pasta and fruits and vegetables, all for relatively inexpensively, at the farmer's market, the grocery store. But when you start getting into things like butters and alternative meat alternatives and, frozen vegan meals and pizzas and just anything that's processed, you're going to pay for that. They know that those things, require, sometimes a lot of times they're non-GMO or they're organic. So you're going to pay a little bit more for that quality. You're going to be paying a little bit more for the process in which they have to go through to create it. Now, is it fair? It is what it is. So again, it's a matter of how you choose to go about the lifestyle. But for me, there are times where I will splurge, and buy something. And again, I'll do another video on all the things that I like to eat, but this is quick Q&A. But nonetheless, there are times where I'll splurge. There are times where, I keep it real simple. There was a point in which I got off the French fries in the beginning and I was eating a lot of brown rice with squash and zucchini sauteed with some carrots. I do stir fries. I do vegetable tacos, vegetable fajitas. Just, keeping it real simple. And when I find that now, when my life gets super busy and hectic, like right now, it's the end of the year, I'm trying to finish up some goals and do all sorts of things, I find myself relying more so on things that are more convenient. things that I can, stop and pick up, things that I can pop in the oven, in the microwave, and I keep it moving. I don't necessarily have time to sit in the kitchen and chop and saute and, roast and all that stuff, but those things are available to you. So let me make sure that I've not missed any questions. No, I think I got them all. So again, I just wanted to hop on and do a quick Q&A. This is real life. Like, I'm not doing this for show. This is not a challenge. Although I did do a 30-day plant-based vegan challenge for several ladies. That was this is December. So October, we did do it in October, and it was amazing. Shout out to those ladies who completed that challenge. You guys did great. I know it wasn't easy, but y'all did it. So if you're interested in doing a plant-based vegan challenge or trying it out or something like that, just feel free to hit me up. Drop a comment below or hit me up on Instagram, find me on Facebook, whatever it is you want to do. You can email me at KrishondaB@queenonthego.com and I'll get back to you. But I am excited that the year is wrapping up. I am excited to share the reflecting that I've been doing. I'm excited to share my goals for next year. I'm excited to share what's to come for this YouTube channel. So every video that I've done up until this point has been a live video. I am planning to, work to get things to a point in which I can record, edit, and put out some amazing content for you guys. But in the meantime, consistency is key. So as I always say, as the greatest thing that I've ever been told is the best thing you can do is start. Stop waiting and making excuses to do anything. If you are interested in living a different lifestyle, trying a different lifestyle, whether for health, the animals, or the environment, just try it. Just do it. There are tons of resources out here. If you have questions, you need a resource, need a hand, you need some help, feel free to reach out to me. I am accessible. Just hit me up. I promise. But I hope to see you guys again soon. Again, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next Thursday on the Queen on the Go YouTube channel. Peace.